Good morning.
Good morning.
Today is another Memorial Day. It's not the first day of summer. It's a day of meditation and giving respect to our war dead. It's going to be a very short program because the VFW now is out of business, and I've never done it without the VFW. And right now I just want to say I'm going to introduce the chaplain, Reverend Meadows, for prayer. Yeah.
The march of our comrades is over, and he lies down in the house appointed for all the living. The grave reminds us of the family of human life and the tenure by which we hold our own. In such an hour as ye think not, the final summons may come which no one disobeys. It seems fitting that we should leave our comrades to rest under the arcing sky, as he did when he pitched his tent or lay down in days gone by, weary and footsore by the roadside or on the field of battle. Our departed comrades of the Navy no longer hear the sound of the waves or float upon the bosom of the deep, no longer sail beneath peaceful skies, nor are driven before the angry storm. May each of us, when our voyage and battle of life are over, find a welcome in that region of the blessed, where there is no more storm-tossed sea, nor scorching battlefield. Our comrade in the hands of our Heavenly Father, and God giveth his beloved sleep. He will be laid to rest, but let us cherish his virtues and learn to imitate them. Reminded by the place he feels no more, that our ranks are thinning. Let each one of us be loyal to every virtue, so true to every friendship, so faithful in the remaining marches, that he will be ready to fall out and take his place in the great reward hereafter. Not in doubt, but with faith, that the merciful captain of our salvation will call him to that fraternity which on earth and in heaven remains unbroken. Amen.
Now I'd like to call on Michelle, I forgot your name, Michelle and the mayor to place the wreath. Turn it around.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Ready? Aim. Fire.
Present.
Fire.
Present.
Mayor, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Sam. Before I say a few words, I'd like to introduce some of the folks that are here. Obviously, Council President Michelle Lombardi. She's going to speak in a few minutes. I know we have Freeholder Mildred Scott right here. I'd like to thank the Boy Scouts, the VFW, the Legion Post Honor Guard, and most importantly, I'd like to congratulate George Wallace, the Grand Marshal this year. I couldn't think of a finer person to have this award bestowed on him. And as the words of my good friend Sam Ladino has said in the past, is that the soldiers that have not given their lives, those lives were taken in service of this country. Correct, Sam? And I want to thank all the vets and all the members of the Legion again for keeping the Memorial Day tradition alive here in Piscataway Township. It's something that should continue for decades ahead. Thank you, Sam.
Michelle, would you like to say a few words?
First, I want to say thank you for everybody for coming to this service, because this is what truly the day is about. It's not about the picnics. It's not about the parades. It's about what we're doing here right now at this moment. I would like to say thank you for the beautiful day, the weather, and thank you to those who gave the supreme sacrifice to our country for our freedoms. And thank you for everyone who has served for our freedom. So again, let's not forget what this day is truly about, okay? When you see a veteran, tell them thank you today. And enjoy the day, and let's have a beautiful parade for their remembrance. Thank you.
Millie Scott, come on up. Don't take lots of place.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm so happy to be here. You know, it has personal meaning for me too, not only for all the veterans that have served us, but I've had family members in the Korean War and the Vietnam War, and I presently have 2 nephews in the war now. And I do want to say it is a blessing to be here standing on this ground, the ground they put their lives to protect us. And I'd like to read this poem in Flanders Field, if you don't mind. It's an inspirational poem. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark a place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up your quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold us high. If they break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field. And you know, the poppy's a symbol of Memorial Day and remembering. And I can remember as a young lady growing up in Flanders Field, we all had to learn in school. And I don't know whether our youth have to know that poem, but I would like to have read this. So if anybody is watching, if anybody or children are here, they would know what that poem means, what it means to all the veterans in our country. And you know, I also want to say that, as Michelle said, it's not about shopping, it's not about picnics. It's not about the fun that we're going to have today. It's about remembering those that gave their lives for all of us to be safe and free. And again, I just want to say thank you, and thank you for everyone that's come out. Thank you.
I'd also like to mention that we have our former Board of Education member, Candy Doherty, here. She's off in the back there. Just give a wave, Candy. And then we have Chair of our Recreation Commission, Jim Ballard. Thank you. Give a wave, Jim. Thanks.
Now, I would like to introduce our Grand Marshal. He's a heck of a guy. He never forgets my birthday, by the way. George, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, and good morning to you all. My name is George J. Wallace, but I like to be called by my initials at the post, GW. It stands for Go West. They're trying to get me out of town. As you might imagine, this is a proud moment and day for me and my family, and I want to thank Brian for those nice words.
Thank you, George. Well deserved.
Since moving to Piscataway in September of 1979, I have been involved in local politics, and am a proud member of the American Legion Post 261. Now, I enlisted in the Navy on April 10th, 1950 to February the 5th, 1954 during the Korean War. I reached the rank of electronics technician, second class petty officer, submarine service, see the dolphins? And it was in parentheses ET2 in parentheses SS for the submarine service. During my service aboard the USS Manta AGSS 299, I ran the slush fund and was captain and player of our softball and basketball teams, even though I'm short. One year, our softball team was the champs of our league with a record of 19 wins and only 2 losses. The Manta was a very unique boat. It was only one of 2 boats in the entire fleet that was a live target submarine. We didn't pull any targets. We were the target. Our most frequent activity was rig for target, where we'd man our stations in airtight rooms. By the way, our uniform of the day when we were rigging for target was swim trunks and sandals. That's it, because it got kind of warm down there. My main stations were the sonar while submerged and the radar when surfaced. Every day we would be shot at by either our surface craft or other submarines by their torpedoes. There was no time for them to miss, and they hit us quite a few times. This was to refine the electronics and mechanics in order to be more accurate. During war games, the surface vessels would also use depth charges with a light load for their accuracy. I loved every minute of that daily action. We had a large turnover of personnel, both officers and enlisted people, because many of those people saw action during World War II. And when they were aboard our ship, they had flashbacks of being attacked. My entire sea duty was aboard the Manta with the same captain, who went from lieutenant commander to commander. We had a few close calls, with the worst being hit by a destroyer that damaged our periscope and antenna, which protruded above the conning tower. The clearance was very close, as there were 7 of us in the tower, including the captain and yours truly. Our crash dive saved us. We operated out of Key West, Florida. I salute all those who have served our country, those who are serving now, and all of you who support us and our troops and our country. I stand proud with you. Thank you all. And God bless America.
Thank you, George. I didn't get any flashbacks. This concludes our services. Services will be held at the American Legion at 10 o'clock. Have a good day, and don't forget our war dead.
Morning, everybody. How we doing today? Welcome to the 2010 Piscataway Township Memorial Day Parade. We thank you all for coming out and supporting our veterans. The parade should be coming off shortly. Come on, I can't hear you up here. A little better, a little better. All right, coming down now, we got Piscataway Police Department getting off our parade. Up next, we have the American Legion Post 261 Color Guard.
Color Guard is joined with the 101st Airborne Association Marchers. Coming up next, we have the Piscataway High School Air Force JROTC Color Guard and Drill Team. Following close behind them in that beautiful Mustang right there, we have our Grand Marshal, George Wallace. George enlisted in the Navy in 1950 and served aboard the submarine USS Manta during the Korean War. He reached the rank of Electronics Technician, Second Class Petty Officer, Submarine Service. After leaving the Navy, George worked at AT&T until he retired in 1986. Moving to Piscataway in 1979, he has been a proud member of the American Legion Post since. And he's still going strong. How are we doing today, George?
Fine, thank you.
Our Grand Marshal, George Wallace. Coming down the street now, we have the lovely ladies of Post 261 Ladies Auxiliary. Coming up next, we have our Poppy Queens, Nicole Rivers and Marianne Slater. Followed by our Poppy Princess, Victoria Nelson. Followed by our trailer with our veterans. Coming up next, we have the Mayor of Piscataway, Brian Waller, our County Freeholder, Millie Scott, and the Township Council. And up we have our Dare car. Up next, we have the Piscataway Township Emergency Management. Next up, we have the Piscataway Police Department and the Police Youth. Followed by the Piscataway Senior Citizens. And here comes your very own Piscataway High School Township Super Chief Marching Band. Up next, we have the Piscataway Township Republican Organization. Followed by the American Legion Post 261 senior, junior, and sophomore baseball teams. Next up, we have the Girl Scouts of the Delaware Raritan Council, Coordinator Gail Ogden.
It's our color guard that consists of all levels of Girl Scouting. We have seniors, cadets, juniors, brownies, and daisies. They start at kindergarten, go all the way to high school. And here's our first daisy troop. It's 3931. The leader's Christina DeFuria. Here's our second daisy troop. It's 3279. The leader is Andrea Haskins. Daisy troop 1697. Leader is Nicole Winston. Daisy Troop 326, leader's Carol Trumbar. By the way, she has 2 troops. We need volunteers. This is a multi-level troop. Troop 3108 consists of daisies and brownies, 1 brownie. And the leader is Beth Matulowicz. Brownie troop. Oh, actually, this is another combination troop. Troop number 352. The leader is Nubija Allen, who is a former Girl Scout and stepped up to lead her own troop. Thank you. Troop 567. Brownie troop, the leader is Maria Percival. Troop 849. Brownie troop, leader is Lisa DeLimo. Troop 1548, Brownie Troop, leaders Lori Slatney and Gail Rivers. And by the way, those are our 2 SUDs who run Piscataway Girl Scouts, who have their own troop, and their kids are gone. This is Troop 432, leaders Carol Trumbar again, Junior Troop. Troop 705, this is a junior troop. Leader is Madeline Interdonado. This is junior troop 563. Leader is Brenda Rowe. Troop 550, leader is Marva Edwards. Junior troop. This is Cadet Troop 553. Maggie Marcinko and her second cadet troop, yes, another leader of 2 troops, 1135. This is Cadet Troop 728. Leader is Dawn Fellerman.
We have Cub Scout Pack 20.
followed by Troop 106. And Troop 20. Next up, we have Newmarket Fire Company and Ladies Auxiliary, Chief Bill Lamore. Here we have the Newmarket Ladies Auxiliary. As well as the North Stelton Rescue Squad, President D. Merrill. we have Arbor Rescue Squad, President Susan Grimando. Next up, we have River Road Fire Company, Chief John Smoko. Next up, we have River Road Rescue Squad, President Eugene Mumber. Sorry, Chief Andrew Marucci. Next up, we have Possumtown Fire Company, Chief Paul Schneider.
but certainly not least, we have Holmes Marshall Fire Company Chief Bob Burns. Darrell Henry, Chief Darrell Henry.